Hi, my name is Alex and I welcome you to today's video. When Kronos, the New Dawn, first appeared on the horizon, it immediately drew attention as Bloober team's next major project after the Silent Hill 2 remake. Rather than chasing nostalgia or retreading familiar ground, the studio set out to build an entirely new survival horror experience, one that blends the oppressive atmosphere of Eastern European brutalism with the desperation of post-pandemic science fiction. Set between the decaying dystopian future and the fractured realities of 1980s Poland, the game pushes players into the role of a traveler, a time-diving agent tasked with confronting nightmarish creatures known as orphans. It's a premise that promises both psychological weight and relentless tension, and its arrival on the Nintendo Switch 2 raises an intriguing question. Can such an ambitious next-gen horror truly work on a hybrid console without losing its edge? The story wastes little time pulling you into its unsettling world. You are part of the Collective, a shadowy organization that sends its agents through unstable time rifts to both study and contain the horrors spreading across human history. In the future, humanity is crumbling under the weight of a mysterious plague, while in the past, authoritarian regimes and social decay create the perfect breeding ground for paranoia and suffering. As a traveler, you shift between these eras, piecing together fragments of a story that is as much about human frailty as it is about supernatural dread. What makes the narrative striking is its refusal to hold your hand. Journals, scattered recordings, and cryptic symbols provide context, but much is left to your interpretation. This sense of ambiguity deepens the mystery, though it may frustrate players looking for a more direct or cinematic approach. Still, the fusion of sci-fi and historical horror feels fresh, giving Kronos an identity distinct from the games it inevitably gets compared to. The gameplay reinforces the sense of unease. Every encounter has weight. Every shot or swing of your weapon feels like a small gamble. Ammunition and resources are scarce, and the orphans you face are not simply mindless fodder. If you fail to burn their remains after combat, they merge into stronger, grotesque forms that can quickly overwhelm you. This mechanic creates constant pressure to think carefully about how you spend supplies, knowing that neglect or carelessness may come back to haunt you minutes later. The Harvester, a device used to extract the assets of fallen foes, adds another unsettling layer, granting upgrades and abilities while leaving you with a creeping sense that you are tampering with forces best left alone. And yet, the more of this energy you carry, the more it erodes the traveler's sanity, turning every use into a dangerous gamble. There is a lot to admire here, but not everything lands perfectly. Combat is intentionally heavy and slow, emphasizing survival over power fantasy. Yet, at times, this weightiness can drift into sluggishness. Some sequences demand precision that the controls occasionally struggle to deliver, leading to frustration rather than tension. Exploration fares better, with environments that feel oppressive yet rewarding to search, filled with puzzles that tie neatly into the game's time-warping concept. The overall pacing leans toward the methodical, which horror purists may love, but action-oriented players might find exhausting. On the Switch 2, the technical execution is surprisingly robust. The game targets 30 frames per second and manages to hold it during much of the exploration and combat, though certain moments, particularly when enemies are set ablaze, introduce dips. The resolution is slightly lowered compared to the PlayStation 5, and some effects are pared back, but the essential look and feel of the game remain intact. The brutalist architecture, the oppressive lighting, the flickering shadows and the abandoned corridors all survive the transition to Nintendo's hardware with remarkable fidelity. Even in handheld mode, the game's atmosphere remains convincing, a testament to the careful optimization that went into the port. What stands out most is that despite the reduced sharpness, you never feel like you are playing a stripped-down version. The world still feels dense and menacing, the scares still land and the immersion remains intact. Taken as a whole, Kronos the New Dawn is a bold step for Bloober team and a strong showing for the Switch 2. Its story is unsettling and ambiguous, its gameplay demanding and punishing, and its world dense with dread. There are flaws though. Combat can at times feel cumbersome, and the difficulty leaves little room for accessibility, but these choices serve the vision of a horror game that wants to unnerve rather than comfort. On Nintendo's hardware, the experience remains remarkably faithful, making it a rare example of a high-end horror adventure that loses little in translation to portable play. Given how well it runs on the Switch 2, despite its demanding systems, I'm very curious to see how Bloober team might tackle a port of the Silent Hill 2 remake on this hardware. For fans of the genre willing to embrace its slower pace and harsher mechanics, Kronos is a chilling journey worth taking. For these reasons, I rate Kronos The New Dawn for the Nintendo Switch 2 an 8.5 out of 10. Thanks for watching. If you have any comments or questions, feel free to leave them below. If you liked it, we would be very happy about a like and a subscription, or if you're interested in getting early access to our future reviews, feel free to visit our Patreon page.
Closed doors, I'm a fool for your love.